Hello, it's Crypto CJ. It's a trade of the day, Friday afternoon Zoom edition. And on St. Patrick's Day, green is the color of the day. I mean, we're up 30%, Bitcoin is in the last 7 days. And we talked a little bit on Monday about the Feds coming to the rescue for the banks that imploded over last weekend. And the markets seem to like that. And Bitcoin's pumping over 27K. We've got a close over 25. Let's uh let's look at the chart. Okay. I got a bunch of windows here. All right, should be seeing my Bitcoin day chart.
Yes.
Thank you. And we broke through the resistance. It's been sitting here since June. I'm gonna have to redo the structure, dadgummit, but I guess that's a good thing. So we have a close here just at 25K for yesterday and blasted through that, and we're over 27 now. So, and as I mentioned, since last Friday, 30+%, good stuff. But we did talk some about this on Monday, so I'm not going to go over it all again today. Let's take a quick look at Ethereum as well. And we're up pretty close to the same. Yeah, over 20% on Ethereum. So Bitcoin's actually moving more than Ethereum, but it did break through the 1700 just barely yesterday or on Wednesday. Dipped a little bit yesterday, and then looks like it should close well above that today. This trend continues. Any questions or comments about the markets overall? Bitcoin, Ethereum. Okay. Well, let's see if we can find some trades for today and the weekend. Go over to Altcoin Alert and see what it has to say.
Shouldn't be
Okay.
hard.
No, not that hard today. On the altcoin radar setup. Gonna refresh my screen. I was looking at this about an hour ago. And okay, some coins I was looking at have gone. Actually, I was looking at Rune. That's right, Thorchain. I was a little bit above 80, still pretty close. And remember that the AA score is going to tell us, in this example, for Thorchain, it's got a 79.3% chance to go 3% or higher in the next 48 to 72 hours. So let's check out the chart. I've got the 5-minute chart here. This is a setup or layout you guys have seen for the last several weeks. On the 5-minute, I don't see us in a dip sequence at the moment. Yeah, I don't really have a good example of a 1, 2, 3 dip recently. So if you're looking for a good entry on the short-term supports right about here at $1.40, so that could be a place to put an alert. Right click here on the chart, add alert. And I usually use the information source for the name of my alert, AA score purchase. And you're in good shape if you want to try to catch a pullback. Yeah, it looks like it has pulled back to $1.38, $1.40. And then down here, yesterday it got down to about $1.35. So those are potential retraces over the weekend if we have a dip. But as you know, I prefer to put alerts on indicators on the 15-minute chart. So I'm going to go ahead and head over there. And we'll look at SuperTrend first. For those trend traders out there, the trend is your friend. I like this indicator. I match it up with these other two, the Stochastic RSI and the Impulse MACD for confirmation. And the SuperTrend is alert friendly. Right click on here, put an alert on. If you're trading spot, you're going to want to go with the buy. If you're trying to short it, you go with the sell. And if you're trading each direction as it changes, which I like to do, you can go with the direction change. Once per bar close, that's important if you want this alert to stay active all day. And if you want to avoid repainting, and that's when the alert seems to flicker on and off during the candle's formation. So once per bar close means it will only trigger after the bar has closed. And then the alert name, again, I go with a AA score purchase. And that's how you do that. Another strategy I like, or approach I like, is divergence, which is disagreement between the price action and the indicators. And when this is a sort of a contrarian approach, we're trying to catch dips and pumps. If you're trading leverage and trading both directions, you're going to want to short on bearish divergence and long on bullish divergence. As you can see, this does have a predictive aspect to it. It's what we like about it. Sometimes it doesn't go as far as you would like this one here. Went up about 2%, but not 3%. If you were holding out for 3%, you'd probably still be in that until, pretty late today. So probably would have been in that for about 2 days. Not the end of the world, but as a day trader, I prefer to be in and out in 24 hours. Yeah, some of these bearish divergences getting about 1.5%. If you're at 5 or 10x leverage, that's still a good day trade. So this does not have an either or both directions type thing. So you'd have to set a separate alert on this indicator if you want to trade throughout the day. I also like, but this can repaint, meaning as it gets new information, it can move. So I like to use this non-repainting indicator as confirmation. But it's not alert friendly. So that's why I like this one, divergence from any indicators version 4 is alert friendly. Right click on this and you go with your negative, and then you can go with your positive, depending on which direction you want to go. And as you can see, the bullish divergences did really well, but we're going to see that probably on all the charts today because we've been pumping up most of the week. Yeah, I mean, this one triggered, if you hung in there the whole time, a little over a day, you'd have almost 9%. It's a really good day plus a little bit trade. Okay, then the last one I like to look at is Stochastic RSI. It's this one down here. And this is where you can find 1, 2, 3 dips sometimes. Like, for example, on the 15-minute chart, if you get a move like this, where it drops below the 20 value, which is considered oversold, starts to come back, crosses up. That's usually the end of a dip sequence on the 5-minute chart and can be a good entry for a dip sequence. I'll give you an example of that. See this cross right here. This is from Wednesday at 10:15. So I go to the 5-minute chart. Wednesday, 10:15. Obviously, I've done this already. I cheated a little bit. Go to, and you see we're in a really nice dip sequence and a recovery. So this goes off right there where you saw that 10:15. So you can get out here with 1%, here with about 1.5%, or you can hang out, probably catch this move up here, which would have been closer to 3%. So that's why I like the Stochastic RSI in the 15-minute. And how you set an alert on this is pretty simple. Right click, add an alert. The K line is the blue line. We're going to be crossing up. Value of 20, which is considered the oversold area. Once per bar close if you want this on all day. And again, AA score is what I usually call this. Okay. And if you want to short this, you just do the opposite. You right click on here, Add an alert, crossing down instead of crossing up. We're going to use 80 instead of 20. And once per bar close, and there you go. Okay. Any questions on potential trade setups for Rune? Okay, let's see what else we can find. So that was the AA score. There's other columns you can sort as well. I've been using this 1 hour projected range more than I used to. So if I click on this one's pretty good at the moment. We've got an upper range at over 5%. The average is 2.46 and the lower is 0.46. So based on this data, there's a really good chance this is going to continue going up from where it is. So let's go ahead and look at that one. And this is good if you're on leverage. If you're maybe on 10x leverage and you want to go pick up 1%, that's 10% trade. That's a great day trade. Okay, at the moment, we're at the top of the Bollinger Band, the 5-minute chart. So I probably wouldn't want to get in there at the moment. I've got some short-term support here right around 2 cents, 2.04 cents. And some more support down here, just under 2 cents. And again, down here, closer to 1.9 cents. Okay, on our 15-minute, SuperTrend looks pretty good. On the buy side, that sell was really good back from Wednesday. This sell didn't do that well. Yeah, that probably would have been a loss. Well, maybe not. Maybe you'd still be in it if you did a ladder buy on a short, which I don't necessarily recommend. The buys did really well. Caught that big pump from yesterday and earlier today. So yeah, good stuff on that. Super trend. And divergence, again, most of it's going to be bearish. The bullish did really well. I think we're going to see this pattern throughout the day. And then on, we didn't really go through the RSI in the last one using the vertical line. Gonna cross here, would have gone against you at first, and then probably gonna ladder buy in this situation. Crosses up about here. Probably see this. Maybe you pick up this 3% and then you're out. But if you stay in, yeah, you're probably gonna buy again down here. And then return to your original entry, break even on your first one, and then have a really nice, about a 9% move on your second trade. So it's 4.5% each if you average them, and you've got double the money in it most likely. So you tend to make more money in those situations. Of course, if it keeps going against you, then that's not so good. So that's one example of how that would work. This over here is a better entry. You don't have that dip. So then the rest of them are trending up. So good stuff on the stochastic RSI. Any questions on one or Harmony? You guys are pretty quiet today. All right, so that's the 1 hour projected sort on Altcoin Alert. Another one I like is matching the long-term sentiment with the elder impulse. I tried this earlier. I didn't have any matches that I liked. Let's see if that's changed. Okay, it has actually. I've been trading the Stacks coin all week with really good results. So we have the elder impulse daily matching. That's a technical indicator. You can hover over the question mark and read the explanation. Long-term sentiment is or sentiment in general is what people are talking about. The Twitter information. And when I can combine, sentiment with technicals, that's something I want to investigate further. So let's go over to STX and see if we can find a trade on it, or at least a setup. Okay. I was thinking when I was prepping for this that if we have a trending market consistently, and most traders think that there's not a whole lot of resistance between 25K and 30, we have a really nice trend in the next week or two, maybe even longer between those two. And though I talk a lot about dip trades, when you have a trend like that, you can get what we call squeeze trades, and that's where I'm a little rusty on this, but it's when you have a squeeze and then a bubble, and it starts to squeeze together again, and then you look to get in right here at the SMA line. As you can see on this one, at least yesterday and today, these are good trades. You get in here, go to the top of the Bollinger Band, 2.8% in 5-10 minutes. We love that. Here's another one where it goes against you at first. Maybe you get in right about here. Goes a little bit against you, but then you catch this move and you're in good shape. So those are two squeezy looking trades. It's been so long since I've traded that way. I'm not sure exactly how to explain it, but that's how I think of it. Something else I've talked about before, iCoin Pro has a specific training about it. So that might be worth, if you're in that, might be worth checking out. All right, where was I? 5-minute chart on stacks. Got this newly formed support right about $1.14. We're pretty close to that now. And more support here between $1.05 and $1.02 or $1.03. That area. And then again down here around 90 cents. So those are potential pullback areas. On the 15-minute, SuperTrend's been kind of busy yesterday and Wednesday, but nothing since late in the afternoon yesterday. But that was a really good entry there. Yeah, actually none of these did all that well. Yeah, until the big move. And then the sells didn't do well at all. So yeah, if you're using this, you might want to focus on the buys until you get evidence of a direction change. Divergence. Looks like some of the others we've looked at already. Bullish one's looking pretty good. Bearish one's not so much. Actually, these from Wednesday did pretty well. Yeah, it's 4% there. Almost 4% there. Get the idea. So it's dipping each time, but not very far. So this might be one where you try to get 1 or 2% on 5 or 10x leverage and get out. Little scalps. Okay, so that's divergence. On stochastic, probably looks like what we just looked at with harmony. But I'll do a quick vertical line. So that was a good entry. And that was a good one. Yeah, actually all these are doing pretty well. So of all the setups I've talked about, I think this is the best one so far that I'm seeing. Yeah, each one of these is doing pretty well. Okay, any questions on stacks? We're going through this pretty fast. All right, what else can we look at? So we've looked at an AA score, 1-hour projected range, the long-term sentiment max matched with the elder impulse, And then the other one I look at is 24-hour change. And this is the kind of thing you can find on other free sources like, CoinGecko and Crypto Potato and Crypto Bubble, things like that, or even just TradingView. But since we've got Altcoin Alert handy, I like to use it, and I'll just look for what's good and what's bad. I've been shorting helium today with some success, and again, I talked about stacks already. IMX is another one I've traded, had some success with on the long side. So Phantom and Mask as well. So let's look at IMX. Okay, go to the 5-minute first. Yeah, I think this is going to repeat what we've talked about on the other coins. Probably why this is zipping along so fast. Probably why I don't have many questions. So short-term support here, right around $1.37. And some more down here at about $1.29 on the 15-minute. Super trend. The buys look good. The sells did okay on Wednesday. I'm not sure, probably. Yeah, that one, I got 2%, not bad. But the stochastic's been good on the others. Let's see if that holds up here. We'll look at divergence first. Bullish divergence did really well. You expect that in a trending market. It's just not going to trigger very often. Well, this one triggered early this morning and did really well. Yeah, 10%, love that. This is quite a bit more. This triggered, went against. Probably ladder buy down in here somewhere, maybe more than once. And then you get out around here. So bullish divergence looking pretty good. And then the stochastic RSI. Got your cross here. That one did really well. Cross here. That one eventually did well. Cross here. Goes against, then comes back. Get the idea. So all the long setups are looking really good. That's no surprise in a week when Bitcoin goes up 30%. Most of the altcoins have tagged along. Have been very few left behind. And another thing you can do to find coins is just set up your own watch list on TradingView. You guys should have this for all the coins you like to trade on the exchanges that you like, and then you can just sort this. I do this all the time. If I don't find what I want on the other information sources that I have, you can sort either direction for what's pumping and what's lagging behind. Actually, these three items are indices, but BICO is something that was pumping yesterday but lagging behind today. That happens when something pumps like crazy for one day, tends to readjust the next day. So then go back here.
CJ, what are the columns? Last change and is it
what's the
what
question?
time frame is that?
It's
what the column headers there. What does that indicate? What time frame?
I think it's the calendar day because at 5:00 p.m. my time, or at least when I was in Mountain Time, there would be like practically not. These would mostly be zeros or close to zero. So
Okay.
I believe it's the 24-hour time period based on London time. So
okay. Thanks.
Yeah, good question though. Okay, that's about all I have for Altcoin Alert and those related coins and searches. Any questions about day trading or the markets or what we talked about? Are there any coins you want to look at?
Can you go back to the Altcoin Alert page for a second?
Okay.
I was trying to remember. Please do a sort on social activity,
Okay.
which by itself means nothing to me, but it seems to me that that's the one that links the long-term and the elder impulse ones. So if things are both bullish, they show up when you do social activity. So,
Yeah. Well, it says social activity on fire, but then it shows very bearish on
yeah,
long-term support. Yeah, I
we're
think
trash talking it.
I do remember. Yeah, I think when shortly after we first got this, I remember I think it was you proposed sorting by this,
Mhm.
and then we got the information from Josh that they had done some kind of review and shorting or sorting by long-term sentiment um, was working, extremely well, getting like
Which is what you did
3%.
before.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay,
And so
thanks.
I migrated over that, but I'd had some success with that one too early.
Yeah,
Um,
yeah.
that was back in
Used to.
2020.
Mhm.
So
2021. Hmm.
yeah, social activity and
Well,
trading activity. If they're both on fire, that would be very similar to the long-term sentiment with the elder impulse.
hmm
What's the trading activity? It's it just looks at volume though, it looks like. So it's looking at volume, and then the social activity is the amounts of tweets today versus a 30-day average. Yeah, okay. That's another one to
stick
look
with your
at.
sorts. I was just curious what it would turn up.
Okay. All right. Good stuff. Any other questions?
So on your iMac, the your indicator, the iMac indicator,
Oh yeah, the Impulse MACD.
yeah. Um, so I downloaded the Lazy Boy, Impulse Mac, and it doesn't look quite at all like the way yours looks. So have you got
Yeah.
some sort of settings on there that
Yeah.
you've changed?
Yeah, I watched a video about this and I liked the settings that he had. It was more style. I don't think we changed these settings, the inputs, which is really what's important. Um, oh, doesn't look like I do have much in the. I think I changed some of the. It was Yeah, I remember now. It was recommended to change some of these colors to make it less confusing. It was kind of a mess if you leave it alone. Um, yeah, it looks like that. That's probably what you saw, right?
Right. So you said you watched a video of that. You have
Yeah.
an address of that or something?
I'd have to dig it out. I'd rather not do that on here. Email me and I'll find it for you
Okay,
because
thanks.
I have a YouTube folder I save such things in. So, okay. And in the chat, hello to Jamie. Thanks for joining us. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
Yeah, the market seems to be up right now. Any thoughts on reasons and what the weekend might hold with your crystal ball?
Yeah, my crystal ball is usually pretty cloudy, but we talked a little bit about it early in that people were freaked out about the banks going under last weekend, and then the feds came to the rescue and printed more money for them to survive. So the market liked that, and especially the crypto markets. So that's my theory. That's mostly what's happened this week. There are probably a few other miscellaneous news items that have been helpful, and one could argue it's just time. It's been putzing around in that range, that I've been talking about since June. So what most, this range here I have blocked off, we broke through it, and there isn't much in the way of resistance, until 30K. You see a bunch of, resistance here, but this, almost nothing here. So that's what most prognosticators are saying, that we're gonna have a pretty clear, easy ride to 30K, and then we'll hit, some turbulence there. Now, I don't, whether we'll do that this weekend or if it takes a few weeks, I couldn't tell you, but that's where I see it going. Of course, since a lot of people think that it'll probably crash and burn back down to 19K, but who knows? But I'm leaning towards the mostly gradual move to 30 in the next, by say this time in April. But Bitcoin predictions are like, well, everyone has one. Okay. Any other questions or comments?
I have a question.
Okay, let's go.
Hi.
Tama, hi.
How you doing?
Oh, just peachy. Feeling good on
Good.
a green day.
I'm glad to hear it. I have a question on Coinbase on delisting or unlisting those 6 crypto coins. Do you have an opinion on that? We don't know what they use to figure out what to kick off and when to kick it.
Yeah, I vaguely recall hearing about this, but I don't remember which coins they were. Were they stable coins or were they other just
Other
kind of low volume
altcoins
coins?
like Loop. I happen to have Loop and I just unloaded the whole thing. And because they're going to delist on the 29th or
Well,
unlist.
I'm probably not the best person to talk about for such things because that's usually that kind of information is for people who are more interested in swing trading, long-term swing trading or hodling. Neither of which I do very much of, but
Swing. I was interested in the swing.
yeah. I know in
I have
CryptNation they talk about that kind of thing. Someone else have an opinion on it?
Yeah. There's a couple of reasons why they do it, and there's probably more. But the first reason they'll do it is if there's just not enough volume in that coin.
Yeah.
Through the exchange, they drop it, and sometimes the coins get rebranded, so they change names or they merge or they go into a version 2 or something like that, and so the old version gets dropped and the new one will get listed. And sometimes they just drop out to infinity, and so there's no point in them being there anyway. But they're usually very low volume coins that there just isn't enough volume being traded to make it viable to have them on the exchange.
Yeah, I mean the exchange doesn't make much money if very few people are trading the coin, so they don't have much patience for that. They don't want low volume
Understood.
coins cluttering up their order books. So yeah. Sorry,
Thank
I
you.
thought you were looking for more specific information than that, but that's that's
Now that's more information than I had before.
okay, good. Thanks for that, Craig. Any other questions or comments? All right, well, we're at a good stopping point, about 35 minutes. I'll go ahead and wrap it up here. If you are watching this on the recording, thanks for doing that. Please check out the information, the opportunities in the pinned comment. They help fund the channel. If you are in Carbon, stick around. We'll talk about that shortly. If you're not in Carbon, you want to hang out, you can do that as well. Otherwise, you're excused, and have a good weekend.